Hello and welcome to Sun News Podcast. I am your host, Ashley Clem, and this is where we own our naked and become vulnerable. And this is my brand new season, and I'm actually doing video. And I have my really good friend, Madeline Lenore, who is a cat for Halloween, but she's also a fierce ass motherfucker. And you just like you wiggled your choker, and I was like, you're actually wearing a a collar, which I love. I love those chokers. What does it say? 444.
Oh
What does that?
yeah,
What does that mean?
it's an angel frequency for healing. It's like
Ooh.
healing.
And then
So.
now that I see the earrings and all the things, I love that. I actually have that in a mirror. Like I have mirrors in my room, and those are the mirrors.
That was a lady in this craft store, or this we call it the Fairy Festival, where I go to with my Nana every year, and we went, and there
But
was
your
this
Nana
lady.
is so fucking cool.
She's the best grandma in the whole world. Well, don't call her grandma, but she won't let me call her grandma. It always has to be Nana.
So I'm going to do a background check on Madeline and myself. We met 7-ish years ago. I mean,
Five or six. I
there
think
was
5 or 6.
2 years of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably, yeah. So maybe 5, 6. I mean, yeah, well, regardless, we'll just go with 5 or 6. So what I wanted to talk with Madeline about, and you'll kind of understand where we came to where we are as far as our friendship and relationship. We wanted to touch base on the art of self-care. And you and I definitely hone in on that with our personalities, our business, and what we want to deliver to our clients. And also, we do it ourselves. We definitely do a lot of self-care for our mental state. And how I met you, I was in Mexico and I was in like a photography form, and I said, "Hey, I want to get family photos done." And everybody was just like putting your name out there, putting your name out there. And you were in Tulum, which you currently still are, but you're always traveling, which we'll touch base on in a little bit. But I wanted family photos, and you had just moved to Mexico. You didn't know any Spanish. Kind of tell me about that. Like you literally had the opportunity, you got up and you are a wanderlust, extravaganza, and you left and you went to Mexico.
I did. I mean, it wasn't like whenever I tell the story, like I don't know if you want me to tell the whole story, but I can tell like part of it.
Yeah,
Um,
just to kind of give it
the,
context because
the thing is like basically I was unhappy with the job that I was doing, and I didn't know a lot about mindfulness or meditation or like surrender or anything like that. But through a series of fortunate and unfortunate events, it led me to Las Vegas, where I decided to like land and then rent a car and drive to Joshua Tree one day. And then I like hung out in the desert for the day just by myself and pretty much just had a talk with God, universe, source, whatever you want to say, and
mm,
trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And so then I had an opportunity to move to Mexico. I lost everything in a flood as soon as I got back from that trip. Lost my job. I'm really bad at construction. Like, don't ever hire me to do construction. But so they fired me, and then I ended up moving, just packing up everything that I still had and just leaving and going to Mexico without any Spanish or any real plan.
yeah, and you learned. I mean, you said you learned Spanish within like 3 months. Like you picked it up so
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah. It was like I was
Love
able
that
to get a
tattoo. Love your tattoo. I
thanks.
see you added to it. I love it.
You get something added to it, right?
No, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like I saw that you did add to it. So another, since we're just bouncing around everywhere, that tattoo she has, like It was from a photo that I took of her in Costa Rica, and she had it tattooed on her, which I fucking love. And then now she just added to it. And again, I'm totally into the whole snake shit too. And I
Yeah, that's
saw that you added that, and I was like, I love that they're both the same color, and I'm here for it. I'm fucking here for it.
shooting.
I know.
I'm
Well,
shooting.
I mean, I'm like, I have this and it says focus. I know that's super cliche, but at least it doesn't say smile. I'm like, "Meh."
Mine
um,
says smile in Spanish.
oh fuck. Well, mine says pura vida. You know, it's fine. It's fine. Well, yeah. So back circling around, she shot my family. She took us around Tulum. I mean, and you've shot me
I'm trying
now.
to say this is shot my family. As long as people know, like, this is a photography podcast.
Yeah. It's not but these are my people, and I'm showing my people my shit. But if you are ever in Tulum, and I always throw you out there, and everybody who has seen my photos, whether it's family or boudoir, like chances are this motherfucker took them. 100%. So if you're ever in Tulum or traveling, because you are a 100% traveling photographer, you're an inspiration. And she is so huge in Tulum. I think. I think personally,
Yeah.
I think you've done from, and I always thought you were amazing prior to meeting you, but you did open my eyes a lot to just being very open to people. Do you remember when we picked up the hitchhikers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, I mean, I see you too. Like, since we met, like, you've
Yeah, dude.
done
Yeah.
like 180. And,
Yes.
just going from the woman that I met to the woman now, it's like you've blossomed like this beautiful butterfly. And, just
Yeah,
really owning your.
you met me when I was all obviously like full-fledged engaged and all that, and I was a completely different person. Completely. And then you know me now, and you and I have both like completely changed 100%. And I feel like for the better too, which is amazing. Um, and when we were going for that, we went to like Valladolid, if I'm even saying that right. Did I say that
Yeah.
right?
You
Did I? Did
did.
I? Like maybe.
Mhm.
We were coming, yeah, we came back and there were hitchhikers, and um my significant at the time was like, you could tell like he was just not happy. He's like, "Oh my God, like what are we doing right now?" And you're like, "Trust me, it's safe, everything's fine." But then it was like your humbleness, and you're just so welcoming and accepting, and it was very, very eye-opening. And I just loved how you were with just people in the world. And even when we were taking photos, you took a moment on the beach, and you probably don't even remember this, but you meditated and you were just chilling and you were doing your own thing. And you were probably like, "Holy shit, these kids are fucking crazy." Like like they're hot, and they're, whatever, you're traveling with kiddos and whatnot. And you're over there zenning out. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I want a piece of that." Like, meaning, like, I want you in my life. I definitely, and I last time I saw you, or the first time I saw you and I left him, I said, "This is not gonna be the last time I see you. Like, this is not
Never.
goodbye. This is just, for the moment." And I mean, since then we've grown and changed, and I do find you like a very close friend of mine, even though we don't talk all the time. But I follow your whole journey, and I just fucking love it. Um and I guess to put some context into it, like you have created a huge brand and an empire for the industry and the travel industry. So kind of give us a little insight on all of that, like what you're doing right now and how
What
you're
an
changing your
intro.
photography. How?
I
What?
said, what an intro. Yeah, dude. No, I don't even know how to respond to all of it. But, one thing that I can say is, like, you are somebody that I've just so enamored by like your work, the things that you do for women, the way that you encourage positive, like body positivity and like feeling good about ourselves, no matter what. Like that's something that I really believe is like such you spearhead that within not just the boudoir industry, but like the photography industry. And I'm proud of you for that. One of the things that I would say that really kind of put things into perspective for me for the very beginning was something that you said, which was like, you don't know, you noticed me doing X, Y, and Z. You saw like this humility, you saw this other thing. And it's like, I never noticed any of that.
Right.
And you probably don't even notice the things that you do for me. And this is, for any listeners as well, it's like one of those things that you don't know your impact that you have on other people. And because you don't know your impact, you don't get to decide your value, because I know that like you actually, like you mean a heck of a lot more to me than you probably even know. And, so anyone listening, it's just understand that what it comes down to is like, I've always just led with my heart. And if you're
Mhm.
always leading with your heart and you're pure in your intentions, whether it's moving to Mexico, whether it's, making a new friend, whether it's doing any of that, it's like, don't worry about the value. And I think that's the big aspect of like, maybe I went on a little tangent, but
No, which is
taking out
great.
the idea of the value that you have to give to someone or something, because that just completely like gets rid of all the fear. Um,
And living in the
then
moment and like just soaking it up, you know?
Mhm. 100%. And I mean, it was that day, like you say, we picked up a hitchhiker. That's so funny because I also tell people that story all the time because I don't even do that anymore. Like it was just one of those moments whenever I was in that phase
We're
of my
like,
life where I
I
was
feel like
like,
they need a ride. Yeah, they need a ride. Go get them. And we're all like, I looked at him and I was like, I'm like, okay, like I feel
and they were
okay. Like he's okay.
they were also
Huh?
from Chicago, which is hilarious. They were from Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, they were, I mean, everything was fine. Granted, you shouldn't pick up hitchhikers, safety and all that. But at the same time, you can gauge where maybe somebody's in distress or whatever. But then again, somebody could be faking it and whatnot. But they were tourists. They were 100% tourists. And I've never done that before. And I was like, okay. Granted, I was the one driving too. And I was driving through and I didn't even know I drove down the wrong road in Mexico. I was like, Alto, alto, I don't know. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what's going on. So that was an experience, and I was like,
The
oh,
adventures of just like
we've done a lot of
crazy.
fucking crazy shit. Like, I want to say this woman here, she's seen the most beautiful things on the planet, I feel. But like for me, when I live in Illinois, when there's just like cornfields and shit, you have given me so much opportunity to see like the beauty of Mexico and being more with the locals and not as a tourist per se. I mean, the food that we had, and we sat down in family style, all the cenotes that we've gone to, and just the organicness of the country. The shit that I've done with you, half of this entire planet, like this is the impact you have on me. Half of the entire planet will never see the beauty that you have shown me, not to mention what you see on a daily basis. So that is really huge. And like the last cenote we went to, I didn't even want to leave. When we were taking pictures in that cenote, I was like, holy shit. And then like just seeing that, I was like, that one was way more beautiful than Soy Tan. Like
Yeah.
I like it was insane. So anyways, if you are ever in Mexico, contact this woman here, Madeline Lenore. We haven't even plugged you yet. Like I'm gonna plug the shit out of you, but we haven't even plugged your business. Um,
Yeah.
but
No, I think that
yeah,
that cenote like was so it was so beautiful. But like one thing, Ash, is that like you also you said yes. You said yes to adventure. And I think that, just like a part of self-love, self-care, and, say, give or take the art of it,
Hmm.
in order to connect with who we are, we connect with nature, connect with the natural elements, connect with like that beauty that's of this world, because it teaches us about ourselves. And it's like, yeah, I'm around it all the time. And let me tell you, like, I'm in Vegas right now. I'm heading back down to Mexico tomorrow, but
Hmm.
just even being out here in the US, like the desert, the mountains, the red rocks, like all of these things just really like feed my soul. And
Yeah.
it's self-care in and of itself. So like you saying yes, it's like it's just saying yes to these kinds of adventures that
Yes.
actually gives us that kind of alignment so that we can
Yeah.
refill our cup.
Yeah. Yeah. To circle back around on the main topic, because, you know, we're creatives and we'll always like go off on our own thing. But absolutely, I feel that when I found myself, because when you saw me for the first time, I was completely different. I was not happy. I was not healthy. I was not mentally okay. I was not the same person. But you see me now after it was it was almost like I drank your fucking nectar, like when I was like, "Oh my god, there's so much out there." There's
Mm-hmm.
you can be happy and you can love life and everything's so beautiful. And I came back and I implemented that with my business. And women and mothers especially don't spend the time to mentally take care of themselves, to have that separation from their children and family to kind of dissect, and they a lot of times lose that. There's so many times where I have moms are like that don't want to take pictures because they don't want to invest in themselves. They don't want to invest in a retreat or a mini vacation because calm down here. They
Mom guilt.
just, yeah, mom guilt, 100%. And it's like the second that you realize that your kiddos will be okay if you take some time for yourself, like you will come back a better mom, a non-strung
Yeah.
out mom, a happier mom, a more processed mom. And you are allowed to do that. And in this culture, it's just very much like Karen, and you have to be an octopus and have 8 different arms, like team mom and wife and mother and a cleaner and cooker and all this shit. It's like we can't do that all the time. And doing these retreats that you and I do are 100% self-care. And I don't know what if how many people do you have on your retreats, like the
Depends.
one
Usually
what you're doing?
under 15.
Yeah, so I cap out at 15 also, with usually 3 staff, so about like 13-ish. And usually they don't know anybody. They might bring a friend if they're lucky, or they know you. They usually know like one person, whether they confide in you and they're like, I'm just going to go for it. But I feel that there is a portion of vulnerability when you go with strangers, and then you're learning
Mhm.
from them and you're feeling
Yeah.
from them. You soak up everybody's life triumphs and failures, and you come back a better person, but you also soak all that up too. I know
Yeah.
that you're
You get
doing.
open to it. I think that's a big thing too. It's like when you say yes to retreats and you say yes to self care, like
Mhm,
it's not just paying the deposit, it's not just paying for the thing, it's not just getting on the
mhm,
plane. It's a posture of your heart too.
mhm,
And arriving with that openness, like you're saying, like being able to say, okay, like I don't know anybody, I know Ashley or I know Madeline, but I'm just gonna go with it and I'm gonna see what happens. Like that, like when you act with the posture of your heart to be open, that's whenever you allow the magic in.
yeah.
And that's how like saying yes to those kinds of adventures and things. But it does come with like making sure that your heart's in the right place when you do it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's exhausting. Like I come home because you're carrying everybody's weight on your shoulders, and not in a bad way per sense, but like you're taking in all of these people that you just met, and you all share the same experience, like that no one else on the
Mhm.
planet shares. And it's
Mhm.
so liberating. And some people choose a different path. Some people are like, you know, I want to change my life. I want to do something completely different. I'm seeing like everything in a whole new light. It's crazy. Um, where are you going? You're going back to Arizona, or are you going to Las Vegas? The retreat that
I'm
you're
in
taking.
Las well, I'm in Las Vegas right now.
Right.
And the next retreat I have is November 11th through the 15th, and that's in Tulum. So I'm going back down there for that.
Okay.
Then I'm doing Joshua Tree in the
So
spring, and then we're doing
that's the one I'm talking
Ireland.
about. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So tell me, because that actually will have some context to where, you know, we have enough
I'm
time
gonna,
if anybody wants to.
I'm
What?
gonna come. I'm gonna
Oh,
come.
I'm like, I don't, girl, I would love to.
Yeah, good, good. We'll talk later.
Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Joshua Tree is amazing. That particular retreat, it's just a long weekend, so it's
Which is
kind
totally
of like,
doable.
yeah, completely doable, and it's like saying yes to yourself for a long weekend, and basically it's photos, adventuring, hiking in the park, and really reconnecting with yourself because like I mentioned earlier on in the podcast, it was when I made space for the magic to show up in my life by literally going out to Joshua Tree in the desert and asking for answers. That's whenever my life changed. And so this retreat specifically is, geared towards that, towards like honestly just relaxing and having photos taken and being
Yeah.
beautiful and enjoy it.
So,
So yeah.
what do you think is the most important thing that you have gotten from taking or being a part of your own like women's retreats or women's vacation, whether it's like something with you or me, or like just the benefits of like a woman being like, I'm going to take a weekend, whether it's just with my friends and just going.
Yeah,
Like, what do you
that's a
think?
great question. I mean, honestly, like the biggest thing that I think is like, how often do you fill your cup?
Hmm.
And understanding like how many people that you allow to take out of it. And even if you're not a mother, like we as women, we do have like a very nurturing spirit. And it could be nurturing your people at work, it could be nurturing your friends, it could be showing up for everyone, and in a way that essentially does end up burning us out.
Yeah.
And if we don't take like specific action towards filling our cup and taking time to just stop and, listen to the music, smell the roses, whatever, like you said before, Ash, like you're not going to be able to show up at 110% for your family, for your friends, for your job, or anything if you don't do this. And so in these cases, it is almost like imperative to at least do something that
It's like
gets
a
you out of,
reset. Yeah, a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. I mean, even right now, babe, like I've been in, like I said, I've been out here for a month almost. I
I
was in El
know,
Salvador and then I came here. So I've been here for a minute.
girl.
And what?
Next time that you leave for a month, give me like a 6 month advancement, and then I'll be like, I will rent out your condo and I will go live in Mexico for a week or two. And you just tell me like 2 weeks prior, I'm like, I can't do that. I'm like, I could if I had my kids in advance and we could all
Well,
just
we'll talk about it because I am leaving sometime. So we'll make it happen. But like, yeah, like I've been here for a while and it's a thing. Like it's just taking time for myself where
Mhm.
I'm in a safe environment where I don't feel that I have the pressure of like Mexico does get chaotic. My life gets chaotic. I'm holding space for so many people. And I've been feeling like I'm on my own version of a retreat here, even though, I'm shooting a little bit, I'm doing a little bit of things, but like
Yeah,
this has been a huge reset. And it's whenever I can reset, that's whenever I'm able to
growth
truly make.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, but like also what's the trajectory of my next move? What do I want? Am I just living or am I going through the motions? You know, like, do I want to continue on these, paths that I'm on? And granted, I love my life and I love what I do and I'm going to stay at it. But, there's been other things that I've decided to open myself to as well. And like, I've tried to start dating. Like, that's a whole new thing. We don't need to talk about that, but that's been a thing, like, weird.
Well, I want to hear all about that because I really haven't seen you with a significant or like super happy in that aspect. But
So it's going terribly. I've been
like,
on dates. I'm not dating a person.
well, neither am I. So we're dating each other. Like emotionally, we're dating each other. Um, so like again, circling back around, right now I am in the beginning of winter. Literally, it's like 30 degrees out and it's about to get shitty shit. And I love the warmth. And if I could move to Mexico, you know that I probably would have. If
Yeah, but
like that's
are
where,
you going to Costa Rica like next week or something?
yeah. Yes, I am. And so we went to Costa, she went to Costa Rica. Yeah, but you live in Tulum, okay? So just hold on there.
This is
Um,
beautiful.
I know. Well, both places are beautiful. But as far as the significance in, because I know that you are in Vegas right now, and you got behind the camera a lot. I saw it, and I love it. I love it, and it was so like Miami Vice-ish, like totally different than what I've seen. And what are you getting from the photos that you have had from yourself, like that you've gotten taken of you? Because you're always behind the camera and you are
Yeah.
in front of the camera, but now you're seeing yourself not in a tropical, you're seeing it in a more like
I'm
high
like
tech.
empowered with my Miranda Lambert vibes. Like
Yeah.
literally, like I'm in love.
Hmm.
Um,
And
yeah, no,
I always comment on your stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, go get it. And your poses are all like, you know, I'm like, oh, this is
it taught
different.
me these things. You taught me
Huh?
the majority. You taught me the majority of the ways to pose because you were like the first photographer to ever shoot me that I looked at my photo and was like, oh my god. Like I've never had anyone shoot me other than you that I've been like,
Really?
wow, absolutely, hands
Was that
down
in Canaan?
to this day. To this day. Now, I always like the photos that you see that like I post and stuff. It's usually me giving my camera to a friend and then telling them to push a button
Hmm.
or something of those lines. But like as far as like a photographer that I would work with again and again and again, that's totally you because you
Yeah.
understand the importance of posing. You understand like how to make anybody look sexy. Like you are so skilled, and it's like
Be
I've
emotional.
learned a lot from you just from working together, being side by side. But like I was thinking, it's like we both stand for that. That self, that self care, self image. Like you better look at yourself as the beauty that you are. I want you to see the world the way, or I want you to see yourself the way the world sees you.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And
There's only one
you
you out there, and if you don't love yourself, how the fuck is anybody else gonna love you? Like you need to put
know,
yourself on a goddamn pedestal because nobody is you, and you are nobody else. You're special.
and you're unique. You're unique. You're special. You have value. You have all these things. And, it's a photo. Like you asked me about like how the photos made me feel and it's like they made me feel great because I feel, really good in my body. I feel really great about, the way that I look, et cetera, et cetera. But I also know that a photo can either make your self esteem or break your self esteem.
Oh yeah.
And
Mhm.
like that's why there's so much value in
You get what
choosing a
you pay
photographer.
for.
Yes, exactly. There's so much value in choosing a photographer that knows how to work with your body, that knows how to work with the lighting and anything. And that's like that's anybody type. That's like super skinny, super curvy, like whatever have you. There's so much value in having a person shoot you that knows what they are doing.
Mhm.
Like it's so
I'm
important because
looking
it could be
for a reasonably priced photographer. It's like, do you want to feel good or do you want to feel like shit? Like,
Yeah.
again, I guess with our profession, you don't need a degree. You can literally set shit up immediately and just have a Facebook and be a photographer.
Mhm.
Now, when you're dealing with women in particular and posing, it's a whole different ballgame. And the different lenses in the millimeters that you choose and the angle that you choose, all of that matters. And you can't just hire a family photographer, to be honest, because they are used to posing families and multiple people. Well, if you're choosing like uh I'm just going to be generic, an intimate portrait photographer or a fashion or an Instagram, like however you want to say it, like there's rules between feminine and masculine that you need to change up if you're photographing one or the other. But for the most part, you and I are photographing a singular person or like a group of, let's say, feminine, like bachelorette or
Mhm.
sisterhood, like very powerful. It all has the same goal, right?
The female.
Or a yeah, or a couple and your shit is super fucking beautiful. When I get a significant girl, we're gonna get naked in a cenote and go,
Oh my god, I can't wait. Like the ones you did in
I'm like,
Amy.
I'm so
I want
excited.
those with my person. Like I
I
want
know,
those.
I know. I want pictures like that. I want to get like dirty, not like dirty, but like dirty, like in sand and like
Mhm.
wet
I love
and
how creative you are. Like you were so freaking creative. Actually, like the thing you posted the other day, it was like something where you were like by yourself and there was like lights and they were all different colors and you're just like, I'm
yeah, it
gonna
was
go do that.
projection. So okay, we're gonna ADHD here right now. Before
No,
we got
I'm
on,
talking about the self care that you did while you took your own self portraits. That's not
yeah,
off
well,
topic.
it's gonna tie together here. So I'm in my new studio, and so I haven't seen her in a while, and she's like, "Oh my God, I love your hair. I love the dreads," and I knew she would because we're a little boho at heart, all of it. And every time she sees me, I have a different kind of hairstyle, and you too. You also.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
guess like I had red hair, I had blonde hair, and it went short and
Yeah,
brown.
like all of that. And she hasn't seen all the new shit and my hair's up and it normally isn't. But she's looking behind me and she's like, "What the fuck is behind you?" And they're like kids dresses and shit. But I yeah, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Not that, not that." But I share a studio space now with a couture children's photographer, and she has a whole bunch of dresses, and they're beautiful, amazing artwork. I mean, they need to be displayed. However, when I'm talking to her, she's like, "What are you doing?" Like, no, this is not my stuff. All my stuff is above and beyond, like way up top. But I have evolved because I lost my other studio space, which it was a mental distress for me. It was something that I held as my identity, like as an
The one that
artist.
was next to the mansion.
The mansion, yeah. So I lost that space and I was there for over 10 years and I was devastated because, for example, a woman who has breast cancer, and obviously this is like a horrible, like we're talking about different subjects here, but when she loses her breasts, something that she has held onto her identity, um, she feels a certain way. Or let's say I use my hair as part of my identity, my self image and whatnot. Like if I lost all of my hair, I would feel lost as a person, as who I see myself as, because that's iconic to me. I felt the mansion was iconic to my business and my art and who my self-worth. So when I lost that, I felt like I lost a big piece of me. And I'm like, well, who's going to hire me now? And people kept coming to
Mm.
me and they're like, people are hiring you for you, Ashley. It's some people might want the mansion just like some people might want just Tulum, but they really want you and your expertise. And so I had to like redefine my self value, and that was hard. On top of losing my grandmother at the same time, and now I'm going through custody cases, which I won't get into, but like there's a lot of shit going on, and like I hit really low mentally, and it was rough, and that's why I stopped doing my podcast. I'm like, something's got to give. I can't give my energy to a lot of shit. Um, and I stopped traveling. Like there was, I hadn't talked to you in a while too, and you don't even know half of it, but you know a little bit of it. You know the background of a lot of it, but it it also comes back around like this retreat that's coming up. I need this for not only even though I'm working it, I need to reset. I need to reset my brain, be around like minded people. I need to redefine what makes me happy, how I'm going to grow, how I'm going to keep going forward, who I keep myself around, who my circle of people are. I need to reassess all of that, which you need to do a reset. And I feel like these retreats are very important because you kind of like you're more self-aware. And you also see like your flaws and your strengths and things like that. Um because I know we all have strengths and flaws and we're not all perfect by any means, but what are some things that you've learned about your weaknesses and your strengths that you have capitalized on, or not but like grown from?
Um, I mean, definitely like the not enough gene. Like I feel like I constantly struggle with not feeling like I'm enough, and I still struggle with it like all the time. And I think it's something that we just do, and especially like as creatives, it's
Mhm.
something that is like a constant in your face, because you're working. Um, I mean, it's essentially based on if people are booking us,
Mhm.
and if people aren't booking, then it's like, well, am I not good enough? Am I not doing
We
this
need a
enough?
lot of
Am I not?
self-validation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And growing from it, like I mean, I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today about this as well. It's one of those things where you just have to remember that, like, your system, and that's something that I have to remember. It's like, I know the system has worked for the past 15 years that I've been shooting and charging people money for it. Like, the system is going to work.
Mhm.
And it's in those moments of doubt when I realize, like, whenever, oh my gosh, I feel the whole world is crashing down, X, Y, and Z is happening. It's like, no, Madeline, you can't get in your head about this because that's not the way that this works. You have to remember that you have a system and your system does work. You can't let anxiety and fear and not feeling like you're good enough come into play. And it's usually in those moments when I'm really sad and I get on my knees and I pray and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? That I get opportunities like this, and like I have, a great friend of mine who reminds me of who I am. And that helps me work through it. And, it's the little voice inside my head that tries to like tear me down. But then there's the other side when it's like, okay, all right, everything's fine.
Mhm.
It's going to all everything is going to be okay. And, I'm like you, babe, like I question too. Like if I mean, I'm very, very well known in Tulum. I'm everybody who thinks and knows Tulum. Like people just do that. And now I'm seeing like people tagging me, and it's like, oh, like they're so excited. They're like, if you're ever in Tulum, please contact Madeline. If you're ever in Tulum, if you're ever in Tulum, and I have a
Which
lot of
it's
if you're
very
ever,
humbling. I mean, you have to understand, like
but
you've worked really hard for that.
I have, but I also don't want to forever be in Tulum.
You don't
And
want to what?
I question. I don't want to always be there.
Well,
I have to be able to grow. It's
I
one of
mean,
those
there's
things.
ways to grow. You can expand your name since your name is in Tulum. You can have somebody who represents you in Tulum, and this is my business. Like,
I have it set up to where like
yeah. So, I mean, you have. We'll go on a little tangent there later, but you have your name for it. You've worked really hard and you should capitalize and your name should stay in Tulum. However, you can expand and you can expand. Your name can also stay in Tulum and you can grow. And you can be a boss bitch and come from like where I remember my first shoot with you. I was about to literally strangle you and like be like, you know, I said, you need to charge 3 times what you're charging me right now. I'm like, I am going to lose. I'm grateful for the rate that you're giving me. However, I'm going to faint and run into a fucking wall. And then you listen to me and now look at like literally not listen to me. I'm not saying I'm like the only
Yeah,
person,
listen, it
but
took
I
that. It
literally
was
was
like,
like, I'm like, bitch, you are so talented. You need to fucking see yourself because I would have paid triple of what you're just charging me right now.
I was
Literally.
charging like $6 at the time.
And I think it was like 200, 250. It was some, I don't want to throw numbers out there, but I was like, I want to tip you like $100 and like give you my purse and like fucking give you like, I know. This is a true story. So I had this like really,
Was
really,
empty, but you did. It was like
yeah,
such a cool
this,
purse.
well, the reason why is because it was very colorful and very like holographic. And I knew that like Amazon wasn't going to be like giving her like next day shipping. She's like, I love it. I love it. And I was like, I just,
Yeah, we didn't have Amazon at that time.
like, just take it. Just, I take my purse and I'm going to order like 10 of them when I get back. And then like every time I come and see you, I always, I bring you like a snake, like
So
something, you know, like a, I don't know, because I feel like I
do
know
you
you and I'm like,
know how?
what?
Like, you're the only person who does that. Like, just brings me snake stuff. I'm like, I want people to know that this is
Well, when
what
I
to
see it, I'm
do.
like, I know she'd like that. I know she'd like that. Um, And the same when we go to Costa Rica, I message Juan and I'm like, hey, what can I bring you from the States? Like, what can I do for you? And then when we all sit together, like we have in Costa Rica, we have a staff of a maid, bartender, and I hate using the word maid, but a house cleaner, a bartender, a chef, and a manager. And I make sure that they sit with us and eat with us. And he literally was like, nobody does that. Like none of because it's a very elaborate Airbnb, but he says that no other families do that. And I'm like, you have to take care of the people that take care of you. Like they are helping and they're doing a job, but they are taking care of you and they're taking a damn good job and they still have a personality. And if they're treating us like family, we need to treat them the same. And even if they didn't, we should all be humble and treat people the way you want to be treated. Because if we all did that, then all the Karens would fucking disappear on this goddamn planet, which I have no fucking tolerance for. And I know you don't either. You're just like, I know you're very like docile. I know you have your own clients that are like
No,
test
I
your patience.
realize that, like, well, you probably get it a lot more than I do because I can just imagine the Karens that
I
come.
actually don't. My bitches are fucking my bitches. I get maybe like
Okay,
one
so
or two a year.
that's good. I don't get it very much because
I'm
I
talking about
was
the one that you said that there was like a kid that like this was like maybe 2 years ago. You were like it was a story. We were in Canaan and you were like, oh my God, like the mom, you had to like put her in her place. But we don't have to get into
well,
it.
tell
But
me the story. I can't remember. I can't remember now. I'm curious.
like it was a ratchet like preteen and you were like, I just can't right now. Like she was I don't know the whole story. I don't remember. I don't want to like go off on it, but it was testing your patience and your patience is very docile. You're like, I don't want to have kids ever again if this shit is going on. I think it was in Valladolid that you went to. It doesn't matter. I don't think the
What
story
for?
was that good.
I must have blocked it out. But I tried,
Mama,
like, I mean, I
mama,
genuinely, I attract dope clients. Like, I love my clients. Like, my clients,
same.
they work with me. They're like, amazing.
Right. Right.
Um, but I've had like, I mean, I've had some run-ins, but I usually like just I've learned to say no a lot more now, and I think
Because
that's
you're
another
done,
form of
right?
care.
Yeah.
Self-care is learning to say no, because it's also a lot
Yes.
easier to say no first than it is say no first and then yes later, because then you don't disappoint somebody. That's just the way that I see it. It's like my favorite thing is to just be like, hey, like I'll let you know how I feel. Like I won't make any actual plans. Like if someone's like, do you want to do X, Y, and Z in a week? I'm like, let me let you know how I feel like the day of. Um, but I mean, as far as like negative ladies, like I don't get that as much, but I did like in the Joshua Tree retreat planning phases. I did have a lady like come after me because I was literally like asking for a retreat center or a place to hold it, and like she like Karened the F out of me like on some Facebook group, saying how short-term rentals were not made to have retreats in, that it's only for the owners so that they can have a retreat. And I'm like, lady, I literally said to her finally, I was like, it sounds like you could use a retreat. Literally, like it was like it's crazy, you know. But yeah, like I try to remain calm and
Sounds like you
collected
need
about
to
things.
take
I
a
try
shit. You need to take a shit, lady, and a big one.
I just
Like fucking
feel
detox right now.
there's no reason to be angry, you know. And if you're gonna argue with somebody on the internet, then you know, there's
Mhm.
if you're literally arguing with someone on the internet, then you need to check yourself, because
Well,
there's nothing
everybody knows
that and
nobody wins on an internet fucking battle. Nobody,
no,
not one person. It's just
yeah,
one
no.
person talking, and it's pointless. I have
And
zero
I've
tolerance.
never like I've argued with people on the internet before. You've argued with people on the internet before. We've done this. But if you think about it, like when did you read someone's rebuttal and if you were like, oh, they're right, I'm wrong, sorry, like that just doesn't happen. Like if you're in person and you're like, oh, I understand where you feel this, oh, blah, blah, blah. But especially on the internet, like in front of like everybody on the world wide web, like we're just out there to say our own words, and we're not here to like reciprocate or try to like make any common ground. Just like understanding that like people just really like to say whatever they feel. It's like not actually really conducive to anything good. But yeah, that was a little random. But I
No,
mean, self care, boundaries, that's a big one. Really important. Saying no.
I was laughing because I was like reminiscing on stuff that we've done, and I was thinking about the Grinch mask.
Okay, I can never listen to that freaking song ever again.
Well, I'm also thinking about the Grinch mask in Tulum on the beach. Like, so I'll randomly put on masks and be like, just I don't care, like who looks at me. I put on a Grinch mask. I had a suit on, and these people, these tourists are like walking by, and I'm like posing and all that stuff. And she's like, "Yeah, get it, get it, get it." I'm like, "I don't care, I don't care." And then when we went to Costa Rica, I brought the same mask, and then her and I listened to the same song on repeat, and then yeah,
That was awful.
it was.
It was like the worst.
We made a
I
video, and we were all like the next morning,
what's
okay.
the song? What is the song? Clutch or Crush or yeah. We don't have to spend too much time on that, but it's never ever ever like have the
The what? Wait, who's that?
sorry, there's a little bit of background. So sorry. But anyway, we can keep continue.
I'm like, wait, I just muted you.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay,
Can you give me a thumbs up? Are you good?
good.
Okay, I unmuted you. No, I mean things happen. It's all good. It's all good. So I guess let's just circle around and kind of come to a conclusion here that being around like-minded people, finding your tribe is so important. So important. And I feel like I have seen you grow so much in the last 5, 6 years, and vice versa. Like, if you were to show me a picture of you and you a picture of me, how
Be like,
much
who
we
are
grown. Yeah. I mean, 100% happier, healthier. We got rid of a lot of toxicity. We are surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, and it's just a huge, huge ordeal to make time for self-care or the art of self-care. Because
yeah.
it is important and it might seem selfish, but it's also a huge benefit. And I even think it might even be better than, I don't want to say going to therapy or a specialist by any means. I think you
Form
should do both.
the
It's
form
a
of it.
different it's a different form of it. It's an art of expression. You are around individuals, you're creating memories, and it's very important. And the as women, we don't spend time on ourselves. We don't spend money on ourselves. We don't do anything for ourselves because we feel guilty. And what people don't understand is when you come back around, you come back home happier. You're laughing more. Your kids feel better. Like you're not depressed. Like you have more friends. Like it all comes back around. And
Mhm.
it's not even the photography aspect of it, even though I feel like photography in itself gives you your own euphoria. But I don't know, that's pretty
That's
much.
just another form of it. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like creating space to do the things that you enjoy. It could be something that's a matter of, doing like photography, or like I also like I enjoy, Muay Thai, or like, I enjoy different things, and it's like creating that space and setting it in a situation where we're actually able to show up for ourselves. That's how
Mhm.
that cup gets filled. And,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. It's like if you don't create that space, then you don't actually allow anything else to have room to show up.
Right. And lastly, it's like I literally reached out to a photography group 5, 6 years ago. And since then, I have been part of so many memories with this woman randomly out of nowhere. I have seen so many aspects of the beautiful Mexico. I have memories of my children and family. I have memories of her and I. She has gone to Costa Rica with me. We're doing podcasts, like literally just one little message, just one that I made 6 years ago has exploded into a ripple effect, a butterfly effect on a lot of positive shit in my life. I picked up hitchhikers. No, I'm kidding. I'm just saying there's so many little things that have blossomed into amazing things just from one little thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say thank you and I appreciate you. And I think that your soul is amazing, and you know that you have made a huge impact on me. I feel like I'm doing my wedding vows to you right now. Um, like, hey, but no, I appreciate you, and you still inspire me, and you teach me a lot. Um, and I can't wait to see you grow and us do more things together because I know that I will see you again and it's not goodbye. It's I will see you later. And
Always.
I really, really appreciate you. I know you're a traveling photographer, so you never know when you're going to see the next person that you shoot because they come to visit you during vacation. But I know that I will always see you again. So
I appreciate, and right back at you, Ash. Like it's just like I said, like one of those things that you gave me so many different things, in our years of just knowing each other, and like really just encouraging one another to act in a sense of making space, making time, saying yes to different adventures, different opportunities. And so like, for those that are listening, it's just one of those things. You have to create space, you have to say yes. just like Ash was looking for one thing, and we ended up going on a spider web of different memories, different things to to just different smiles, different laughter, different
Yeah.
phones being
I mean, we've done
lost.
so much shit. We've done so much shit. I mean, more than you and I have done way more shit than half of me and my friends have done. I mean, we've jumped off cliffs. We've we've swam in cenotes. I mean, you name it. We've we've done a lot of stuff. So I just genuinely appreciate you. I always am inspired by you. I'm so proud of you. Just so proud of you. And my children too. Like me and Austin, my oldest, she's met all my kids, by the way. But like
Awesome.
we went on vacation together. Like we took her, we went to Isla Mujeres for a couple days, lost my phone. That was a problem. Got back into the States, but my son has spent,
There you
a
go.
whole week with Madeline. And I mean, she's good people. If you ever need to travel, hire her because she will travel, even if it's not in Tulum. So, really quick, plug yourself, Mama. All the things.
Well, hi, I'm Madeline Lenore. You can find me at on Instagram at mlenorePhoto. That's M Lenore Photo. And for other retreats that I do, I have a collective called For the Wild Retreats. That's forthewildretreats.com. And that's it. That's all I do.
And she is amazing, fun, accepting, all the things. So, if that's what you're looking for, 100% reach out because it is 100% worth it. And again, I appreciate you for your time.
Love you
And
so much.
I know, like, we're gonna get offline and then hang out, figure it out. We'll go.
You can get.
I'm gonna create a
I
heart.
can't do that. Like,
It's Halloween tomorrow,
my boobs
so
are great. Oh, look at my boobs.
we need to get matching tattoos or something.
We really do. The next time, okay, the next time that we see each other, we're getting a matching tattoo. Done.
I think it should be your earrings,
Okay.
unless you already have that.
I don't have that
We'll talk.
anywhere, so we can get.
We'll talk. All right.
Okay.
I love you. I love you. Once
Love
again,
you.
thank you for coming on and own your naked. Bye.